Hey guys, it's Christian of the Christian Night Podcast, and I am here with my co-host,
What's up,
Sonic
guys?
Knight, and we're going to start off with this podcast by apologizing for the little lack of videos and episodes. I just started a job 3 weeks ago, so I've been pretty busy with that, and you know, we both have lives outside of this, so sometimes it just happens where the time's on the line, right? So I'm sorry about that, but today we're gonna get into some stories.
So
Shout out Secure Team, who is where I found this video and him talking about it, but apparently there was a gentleman who was posting on Twitter, I believe, of these voicemails he got that are basically in code that the military uses, and it's spelled out like danger, danger, please evacuate, they are not humans.
and it was like coordinates too.
Yeah, it was coordinates to it supposedly ties in with the Malaysian flight that vanished, and it was pretty interesting. I don't know if it is a hoax or not. I mean, the chances of being real are pretty slim, I'd say.
Yeah, I think
But
it's
I feel like you can't discount it.
because like I say it's fake because I don't know why some normal person would get a message like that. Like I don't know. And then on the guy's Twitter, he was getting messages in a different language that were saying like delete these posts about the voicemail and shit. So I don't know if that's like some government.
He also
shit.
said that he was out parked in his car at his house at like 3 a.m. and saw someone taking photos with the flash on, which is, if that's true, then that's really weird for, first of all, for anyone taking photos of a house at 3 a.m.
Why?
Especially taking photos of your house, because I don't see any reason why you would do that.
Yeah, like I mean, like, cause I don't think that guy was lying. Like, someone might have been actually doing that, but like, or maybe he's part of it. I don't know. But that guy seemed pretty genuine. So I don't know what. Yeah,
I mean,
well,
there's
like you
no
said,
way really telling something like that, just because.
Yeah, the coordinates led were almost exactly where the Malaysian plane was said to disappear, and people were saying like that might be the black box that was like that's the last thing that came from it. But I don't know, that
would be crazy, and
would be crazy.
It was like a voice type like Siri, where it's not a human voice.
Yeah.
And like an automated voice. So.
But that doesn't explain, like with that Malaysian plane thing. That doesn't explain the people messaging him like delete this and taking pictures of his house. Like I don't. That has nothing to do with the black box. I don't know why someone would.
I'm sure there's more to the story if we looked into it, or if you guys want to look into it, listening a little bit more. We're pretty much just scratching the surface of what the story was.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty popular apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw it today, but it seems like it's been a big thing. If you want to watch that video, check out the channel Secure Team, because that's where I found it.
Yeah, that's what we're referencing. So, I mean, I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a... he's a speculative person from, I've seen a decent amount of his videos, and he keeps it where he has an open mind about stuff, and he doesn't jump to conclusions, and he tries to look at things rationally. So, I mean, he's pretty unbiased. Let's say.
Some more weird shit that happened recently. Other than that, this guy, this skier, teleported 3,000 miles. Apparently, he went missing, and he was skiing down the mountain or whatever. Apparently, he just went missing, and they were searching for him. And where was it? It was somewhere really far. Like, he turned up in California, and that's 3,000 miles away from wherever he was. I'm trying to see where it was, but like, it's
Shout out to
far
the
as
movie
hell.
Jumper, by the way.
I forgot that movie existed. But
That's
yeah,
pretty much exactly what that is, you know.
yeah.
I mean, hey, maybe the X-Men are real, and there's mutants with powers, and they're just starting to kind of come out of the woodwork, and he's one of them, you know.
I hope, but I mean, the dude was like 50 years old. And why now? And they said like it was New York. That's what it was. It was New York to California. That's literally like across the country. And it was,
Yeah, that's as far as you can get, as far as like different states, pretty much, because New York hits Canada, and California hits Mexico, and they're at complete opposite coasts.
Yeah, like what? Like that's so weird. Cause you can't get over there to California from New York that quickly. Apparently, he got over there in like a night or something.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I think I'm not sure how long a plane ride would be, but I think it'd probably be like 6 hours or so.
yeah,
6-8 hours.
if he's up in the mountains, like he'd have to get to the airport. Let's say he could easily get to his car. He'd have to get in his car, get down from the mountain first off, drive to the airport, get on the plane, and then go to California. All this while leaving his skiing gear on. Like, I mean, I guess he could have put it back on.
Well, yeah, he could take it off. And the thing about what you said is get down the mountain. If he's skiing, that's literally, if you're skiing, you're going down. So it wouldn't be too hard for him to get down the mountain at that point, you know.
I just don't get, like, because people said they saw him, like, he was with people, apparently, and they said he went down, and all of a sudden they just have no clue where he is. It's like, didn't you guys see him go down? Like, weren't you, like, looking at him or something? Like, but I guess not. I guess no one was watching this dude ski down the mountain, and then he was just gone. And they checked him for, like, if he was, like, had mental illness or substance abuse. Like, none of that.
Did he?
No, he didn't. He's just he's old. that's really it. He's old. But other than that, he's a pretty normal guy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, with the whole jumper type of, I think that would be awesome power to have, because you want to go somewhere, instantly just pop there. I mean, I would love to have that. I'd travel the world, and then when I get tired of being there, just snap my fingers and be home. That sounds great.
Maybe they're starting to come out of hiding. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anyone with eyes that shoot lasers or whatever, you know. I don't remember exactly what Cyclops' eyes were shooting, but
Cyclops,
I
like
haven't.
X-Men.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone walk around like that, so.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's those people that say, I forget what the show was called, but it's just people with superpowers, supposedly, and there was like people who could one guy was magnetic, like stuff just
yeah,
sticks
I've
to him.
seen that. One guy could just straight up withstand the cold.
Yeah.
And not have any problems.
Yeah, he was in like he was somewhere that was like the Arctic, like it was just snow everywhere. This dude was just running around with like nothing on, like it was like a beach. Like Like what?
He
And then there
says
was
that I know that I don't remember what that dude's name is particularly, but I remember him saying like cold weather is good for the body and stuff like that. I don't see how that could be possible though.
I don't know. I mean, not like insanely
Not
cold
to an
weather.
extreme, yeah. Maybe like
Yeah.
a little bit of cold every once in a while. Like sometimes when there's cold air, it helps you breathe.
They said they were monitoring his body temperature and stuff while he was out there, and they said like somehow he can just increase his body temperature like at will or some shit, like a polar bear or something, and that's how he can just walk out in the snow like that. Like his body can just generate like extreme temperatures apparently, which was like it's fucking crazy. Like I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want that because I don't see how
I
how like
wouldn't.
I have anything to gain with it. I
Yeah.
guess, but in the world that we live in, like that's unneeded because I'm not going
Yeah.
to be in a situation that calls for that. Maybe if it was a really long time ago, I could get some use out of that.
Yeah. I mean,
But it's not a really long time ago.
same with the magnetic guy. I mean, that's more of a curse. Like, we're gonna just be magnetic. Like, just every part of him, too. Like, okay.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he had a very strong magnetic pull to him though.
Yeah.
So it's not
yeah.
like he walks by and things just fly everywhere to stick to him. Like he has to deliberately put something on him.
Yeah. And there was one
He
guy
was
that was
putting metals
stupid.
that aren't magnetic, and it was sticking to him. That was what's weird. Like, so he really isn't magnetic.
Yeah, yeah.
Metal just sticks to him.
Yeah, they got into, like, the science of it, but, like, I don't remember what they said exactly.
I think that was called something like Stan Lee's Superhuman or something like that.
Yeah. So, it was I think it was Stanley's Superhuman or something like that. There was a guy who was just, he could just nail stuff with his head. Like, you remember that guy? He put a nail in a brick or something, and he just nailed it with his head. Yeah,
he just had a really thick skull,
like,
if I remember right.
Yeah, like, that doesn't count. Like, no. You just have a thick skull.
Like, there's a guy who can pretty much eat anything, and he eats glass, he eats nails.
Oh, yeah. It was like, what?
He eats, like, metal cans, and it's like his stomach acid's so corrosive that it can break it down or something. And his stomach lining is, like, 4 times that of a normal person or something like that. So his stomach can actually hold like the stomach acid, even though it's like incredibly corrosive compared to regular people's.
The craziest one for me was there was a girl who could just like control electricity or something. Like she could just be like a conduit. She like there was like they put an electric current on the one side of her, and she like it went through that finger on her hand, and then like she shot it out towards the other hand on something, and it was like they just looked at it closely and everything, and that's exactly what she did.
Yeah. That's crazy because with electricity in the human body, it usually, like for a normal person, it just goes through you and hits everything on its way out, and then it always has an entry and exit point, and I'm pretty sure it always goes down.
Yeah, and apparently
it's kind of like a hollow tip too. It goes in, you know, it go in smooth, but it does not go out smooth. It busts out.
Yeah.
With a gash in it. So I feel like most people that get shocked end up dying from it.
Yeah, if it's strong enough, yeah. And what they were showing seemed like it was definitely strong enough to fuck someone up. I just don't get like it goes through you, like it went through her one hand, so it's like it has to travel through your body to get to the other one. So
that's weird that it didn't do damage. Even like there's no way possible that it wouldn't like damage her internal organs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't really get how
it's electricity.
I mean,
like,
maybe she just like maybe it is doing that and she doesn't feel it damaging her for some reason. Like, you know, like it's going through her like normal, but she just doesn't feel it or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that like they can't feel pain because their nerves and nerve endings don't work, stuff like that. I mean, I would say that's a superpower, but that would be a disadvantage because pain's how you know that, like, you know, something could damage you.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can't ever feel pain, you just walk somewhere and then you're stepping on like glass and you're bleeding out everywhere. Or
Yeah,
you
just
cut your arm. And then you just walk down the street and don't even know that it's cut.
I mean, that happens to normal people. So, like, if you're someone with, like, crazy, extremely high pain tolerance like that, then you very well could, like, fucking get yourself hospitalized and not even realize.
Yeah. But if you don't feel any pain at all, like, you could break your leg and would still just be walking on it and cause permanent damage and, like, seriously mess yourself up, and you know,
there's been
that'd be a disadvantage.
There was a guy who got like a huge chunk of his calf like ripped off by some fish, and he didn't even feel it until he got up on land, and this dude was still walking on it. Like, keep in mind, he had to walk up to get on land. He walked up, and I think he like passed out or something. He didn't even know something bit him. It's like, how the fuck did you not realize that? What are you, fucking Superman? Like...
Well, when something happens, sometimes, you know, like, there's people that have, like, broke their leg, and then they were running while they broke their leg, and they just kept running and didn't even notice it, and then looked down, and then started feeling the pain from it, and then, like, oh, and then kind of just collapsed. You know, they took 10 steps after they broke their leg. And then they realize it's broken, and then and they can't walk anymore, and they kind of just collapse. And I'm like,
I guess like adrenaline, but even then, it's like, why wouldn't you feel it initially? Like, adrenaline doesn't kick until like after you like feel the danger. So like, I don't know. But this dude had no fucking clue. He's like, oh, I came up, my fucking leg was bleeding like hell. It's like, if no one was there to help you, you'd probably be dead. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy. I couldn't imagine that little chunk of muscle on my leg being gone.
That'd be
horrible. Then you just be walking on bone.
I don't even know how he recovered from that. If he even did recover from that, I don't know.
He probably got it amputated.
Probably. Especially if it's like it was too long of a time to like fix it up and shit, like it was infected, then it's like you probably have to get rid of it. There was also a guy I heard about, I didn't see this, but I heard about some guy who like blew his like half his head off with a shotgun and he was still alive.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
There was also, I don't think, this wasn't on the Superhuman show. It's not really a power. But did you hear about the lady who just had metal growing out of her for some reason?
No, I've never heard of that.
I'll send it to you. It's fucking weird. This lady, she legit just had metal that just grows from her body, and it was like, it was fucking up her organs and stuff. Like, and the doctors and stuff were looking at it, like it was literally just coming out of nothing. Like, she was just growing metal. Like, it was so weird. And it was like killing her.
Yeah. It sounds like, it's kind of crazy how we don't understand. Like, there's so much that we don't understand. There's so many weird things that go on that are just unexplainable, and they're like, oh, well, we can't explain it.
I wonder what they do. I wonder if they just kind of give up, like, fuck it, or if they, like, put it in a catalog, like,
well, if you think about it, there's so many things that we don't understand. We pretty much, like, understand, like, 1% of what goes on in the world.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even
most of what
we don't even know anything about the ocean.
use
So,
for
like,
information is based off of assumptions and just stuff that someone said, and then it's like, alright, well, we'll just go with this, I guess.
yeah. Cause they don't know what else to do, so they're like, fuck it, we're going with this. That's the explanation until we find a better one.
Yeah, I mean, just look at anything that's like occult or paranormal stuff like that. None of it can be
That stuff's really
explained,
not
and
touched.
people don't want to admit that it's true because they're like, well, we're just gonna go with what someone else said because we're gonna try and find a rational thing. When there's like random lights popping up in the sky and people are like, oh, it's a bird. I'm like, no, let's not look at it. Let's just call it a bird and get over with.
Yeah, I mean, people, because nowadays, people don't really look into that stuff anymore. Like, nowadays, they're just like, I don't know what it is, fuck it, we're calling it bird, like you said. Like, people don't really, like, dig deep into it anymore. I guess they don't care.
Mean, there's a pretty big community of people that, you know, really look into it and document it and stuff like that. I mean, I would say that there's literal proof that there's things that we don't know what they are flying around the sky. Like there's there's hundreds of thousands, maybe not millions, of people that have saw that stuff. So if 100,000 people saw something, I would say that
for sure.
that's a big enough sample size to say that it was there, you know.
Yeah, but like some of the people,
and
they just aren't interested.
Photographic evidence and stuff too.
Yeah.
And just because there's photos that people fake doesn't mean that some of them aren't real. That's part of the problem with everything. Is
there's gonna
someone
be
will post something that's real, and then someone knows it's real, so people will start posting fake stuff, so you can't tell what's real and what's
which is pretty annoying. But
I mean, it's the smartest thing to do if you have something that you don't want people to know that's real. So the only way
I guess you really never know for sure.
Do that is to saturate the market with a bunch of fake stuff, you know.
Yeah, I think that's why people don't really look into it anymore. They're just like, fuck it, I'm not dealing with it. Because it's just, oh, it's fake, oh, it's real, oh, it's this and this. So I think like, people just avoid it because they don't want to deal with the whole conversation. Like, there was,
I don't blame them.
There's, the hum, where only small villages hear it, and it's like a really small percentage of people, and it's just a hum, really high-pitched hum that just some people hear. Not a lot of people do, and when they do, it's like unbearable, and some of them have like tried to kill themselves, like because it was that unbearable. And people were saying like, scientists pretty much just said, oh, it's tinnitus, but tinnitus is way more common than just. First off, tinnitus doesn't make you want to kill yourself, and second off, it was in only small villages for some reason, and it was like a small percentage of people, and yeah, it was like that theory just doesn't work. So like, but you know, they just fuck it. It's tinnitus to them. Why look into it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff like that happens all the time, like that. I forget what town it is, but there was a town that heard a giant boom, and I guess there's a bunch of cities that just keep hearing giant booms, and they're unexplainable, and no one's giving
I don't know what that was about.
Insight on what they think it is. No one's giving any viable points of what it could be.
It seems like everyone cares except the people who have the resources to look into it. That's how it is sometimes.
Because no one wants to buy into conspiracy theories, even though that's not really conspiracy.
Avoid it,
it's
like
more
the
or less.
plague.
It's not even alternative thinking. Like it's just fact. If
it's
people
not even
trying
about
to find out what something is, and then people are gonna be like, "Well, you're trying to say it's this, trying to say it's that." It's like, if you don't think of all your possibilities of what it could be, then how are you gonna find out what it is?
Like instead of avoiding it like the plague, they're like, oh, we're not gonna look into that because everyone's gonna say it's UFOs. It's like, Okay, sure, but it literally is a fact that it happened. Like, you're not gonna find out what it is unless you accept that it happened and look into it. Like, I don't understand that.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm a pretty curious person, so I really wish I could know what it is. Just
Yeah, sure, we know a lot of. Like, I wish, like.
because I don't like seeing something and then I hate speculation. I wish that things would just. I hate speculation. I hate how people try and cover stuff up because you know it's unnecessary. Like, just tell us what it is. I know somebody knows what it is.
Can't be.
Tell us what it is.
It can't be that bad.
We're gonna live with whatever it is. You know.
Yeah.
Like, keeping people in the dark is gonna come back to bite everybody that's trying to that has information that they don't want to, you know, let out. Like, it's gonna, when it does let out, people are gonna be mad that you deceived them this whole time.
Yeah, I don't know why a lot of that stuff is covered off. Like, like it's not gonna be fucking catastrophic. Like I said, that's kind of like unrelated. But there's like some cults that still believe in like Cthulhu and that whole mythos and shit. Like that people still like kind of believe in that. Which I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I thought like
and
it
what's
was
crazy
just
is Cthulhu is literally the creation of an author.
Yeah, it's literally fiction.
How people would make a cult, but there's a lot of stuff with H.P. Lovecraft that people kind of look into and be like, oh, this is that, this is this.
Like, they weren't like, it was like Cthulhu. Basically, it was Cthulhu, but it was also the whole cosmos, just belief in general. So I guess that's general enough to say like that wasn't just H.P. Lovecraft's, like, but still, Cthulhu is literally fiction. So I don't know why that's was ever a thing. But even today,
H.P. Lovecraft was a brilliant man. So throwing that out there.
His like. The stuff, his whole like mythos and shit he created was so it was in depth to the point where it's like, he might have known something.
People made cults and actually believed in it.
Cause that's how much he put it. Like, his books are probably more in depth than like, and developed than like Star Wars. Like, every single detail he thought about apparently, and people think like, maybe he knew something about the universe that we don't. Or maybe he's just insane. Like, who knows? And if Cthulhu was real, that'd be horrible. So I don't know why you would wanna. I don't know why you'd wanna worship him.
Yeah, I watched a thing on H.P. Lovecraft's mythos and all the aliens that have visited Earth and all the battles that have taken place and with reptilians and just random alien species and Cthulhu and just a bunch of different. Like, it was a lot to handle because I wasn't really too familiar with it. And then
I really
watching
don't know
that video, I'm like, wow, this is crazy that there's this much to it. It's like a 3-hour long video. I didn't even watch the full thing.
It really,
I was like,
it makes you wonder. It's like, where does he get these ideas? Like, is this just straight up just like he created it, or does he actually believe in some of this shit? Like,
yeah.
Because I feel like you have to.
Rest in peace, Stephen Hawking. That's we lost a pretty brilliant man.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
The past couple days, I was trying to see if I could find a video of before the Lou Gehrig's disease set in and what his actual voice sounded like, but I could not find a video. I guess they didn't have cameras.
No, I think they did, but they were like just not good enough to record like sound like that. I know they have pictures.
I thought I had seen a picture of him like as a teenager where he was still able to like stand and stuff. So if he was able to stand, I figure he'd be able to talk.
Yeah, I don't know what age he was when he started to not be able to do anything.
Started setting in, I mean, he lived a pretty long life. He lived a very long life for someone to have that disorder
is
or
true.
disease or whatever.
He knew he wouldn't live much longer. I mean,
he lived a pretty full life. I mean, he did a lot.
Yeah. It's not like he can't say like the disease ruined his life or anything. Because I mean, I'm sure it's horrible, but like, it's far from ruining his life, I think.
Yeah, no, he's brilliant. I think it just shows you that, you know, if you're a smart individual, it doesn't matter what setbacks you have. You just gotta do what you. It's really with anyone. It doesn't really have anything to do with intelligence. It's just no matter what your setbacks are, if you love doing something or you have a passion, do it, because you'll succeed if you really want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it has to do with it, but like, I guess modern medicine and shit maybe like helped them really live on for that long.
Just the fact that like how resilient people are is what.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like, cause I thought ALS was a disease that like kills you when you're like 30. Like that's what I thought ALS was, but I guess not. Cause every time you hear about it,
that they said he would live like 2 to 3 years. Or something like that. He lived a lot longer than that.
Yeah, what was he, like 80 something or 70 something? Like he was old as hell. But
yeah, I think he was 68, but don't quote me on that because I am seriously not sure.
He was up there is the bottom line.
Yeah, and he's done stuff and made theories and done stuff that people that have the full use of their limbs never could do. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because every time I heard of ALS, I always saw like people dying extra young, like they were like just 30s, sometimes 20s and shit, and but somehow he lived to like 70. Like what?
It's kind of crazy how scientists have kind of become mainstream and became kind of like celebrities. Like you got people like Elon Musk, you got Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like a lot of people talk about them. You got Bill Nye. Like they're pretty much.
Does he even do anything anymore?
I think that's a bad thing. He has his own Netflix show. I've watched.
I'm not that surprised.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. And science is kind of crazy because they don't really care about facts anymore. They'll be like, we'll literally find something, and they're gonna be like, okay, we know that that's right now, but let's act like it's like we never found out about it because we're gonna have to change a bunch of stuff, and people are gonna have to relearn stuff, and people are gonna have to look at this, and we're going to change too much stuff, so we're just going to act like we never discovered it and figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say they don't like facts. I would say they like facts when they want to. When it's convenient for them, they like facts.
Yeah, that's
when it's not, they don't.
When it's convenient for them. If it's something that is proven,
now you like
and
facts.
They're like, well, this is going against something that I like. So I'm just gonna act like
fuck facts, basically. Oh, it's
pretty irritating.
Against what I think.
Because you would think that out of anything, science is supposed to have to do with logic. So if you don't have an open mind about stuff, it's like, what are you doing?
It's both. Like, you can't be on one side. You can't be only facts and only hypothesis. Like, you have to be both. So. But you know, they're just like, oh, it's not fact, so it didn't happen. But when it's when it's with them, it's like, no, I proved it. It's fact. It's like, okay, but if they prove a fact, it doesn't matter. Okay. Like if we saw Cthulhu jump out of the ocean, and someone took a picture and a video, it would be fake. Like. They'd just be like, no, it didn't. That didn't happen.
It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I thought about reading like H.P. Lovecraft, but I don't really read books like that, so I was like, I'm probably gonna lose interest, but especially because his books are so like complicated. Like I didn't want to get into it.
It's pretty crazy to think about science in general. Don't. I kind of like. I like science, and you know, I feel like I'm somewhat passionate about it, and it is very interesting. And I do like looking into stuff like that. I like chemistry.
I don't like
anything that has to do with biology, or
because that kind of shit.
I mean, really, anything that has to do with living things, I like because I find it interesting. But I also really like mysticism and stuff like that.
I'm more into like just the weird happenings and shit that which do have to do with science and chemistry sometimes, but chemistry as a whole I really don't give a fuck about. It puts me to sleep. But if that's part of like
I like chemistry.
some of the other stuff,
I did pretty well in it in high school, and I had an interest. I would never do anything like as a career, or but
yeah. I mean, a lot of it is math, and I hate math, so...
Yeah, it is a lot of math. I'm not the best at math, but math's not really too hard once you understand it. I just never paid enough attention to the problems.
Yeah, and plus, if you had to,
I never
if you wanted to do that as a career...
Math. I always did struggle with it, and then once you get behind in the subject like that, it just
And the careers for that, you have to be in college for like fucking 10, 11 years sometimes. So maybe more, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have money. I wouldn't have money for that anyway, but
yeah, that's a lot of money.
That is, I feel like we pretty much have some.
Wait, your mic cut out. What did you say?
It's kind of like look at stuff through multiple different avenues. We'll look at something like, wow, this is weird. I wonder if it's something like this, and then we're like, maybe. And it's like looking at logical and illogical, because sometimes just because something's not logical doesn't mean that it's wrong, Like illogical, weird, random stuff happens all the time.
That's why
so much stuff that we can't explain. So just because we can't explain it and it's something that you think isn't possible doesn't necessarily mean that it's not.
I feel like it's. I don't know. I feel like it's boring if it's like, if nothing's out of the ordinary in science and everything's just straight to your, just straight textbook, and everything. That's boring to me. Like nothing is different. Everything's literally the same that you learned, and that's that. Like that's fucking boring. Like so I can never be a
I'd rather watch a sci-fi, thing over something that isn't. I like, because one thing that that happens is sci-fi, even though it's most of the time it's a work of fiction, it eventually becomes
some truth,
reality at some point.
Yeah,
like
they're always
something.
They always have a little hint of reality.
They keep saying stories and it has the same themes, and then it's stuff that isn't happening at that time, and then eventually we look back at it and like, wow, they knew that this was coming, and it happened, and now we're all looking at it kind of confused, like, what?
Yeah, but this is a little off topic, but those videos where they're like, boy went to the future to year 3005 and he came back and the future's awful. It's like, shut the fuck up. There's been so many videos like that and they're all fake. I mean, one of them might be real for all I know, but they're literally all fake. Like, and they've been proven to be. It's so fucking stupid. Because literally they always say the same thing, because they're just like, oh, the earth has literally become just like mud and dirt. Like there's no
clean water or anything. It's just because the earth is just fucked and it's full of pollution and we can't live there or anything. It's like, yeah, you obviously just took that from some random disaster article and just put that in a video. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but there's to say, you know.
there's a girl, I forget her name, but
Wait,
the girl who's known to live on Venus.
It's like people who actually believe that the Earth is flat, and it's like, I mean, there's some things that are up for debate that are like, yeah, this might be true, but there are some things like we literally have proof.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to like shit on people's beliefs, but like your belief is fucking stupid, so I'm allowed to. The Earth is flat because you can see the North Star from here and here at the same time. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, no, your reasons are invalid.
Well, we're up to like 45 minutes or so. So I guess we can wrap this up.
Yeah, wait.
Since we're both kind of tired.
So we'll see you guys sometime. We'll update you. We're not sure right now. We're just kind of getting back in this anyway. So like, yeah, stay tuned for that. I guess, and the normal links in the description and shit. We will keep you guys posted, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Yeah, we're gonna try and start doing more episodes like we were doing, but we kind of got to get back into the swing.
Yeah,
thing, so
well, I mean, since you got a new job, it'll probably take a couple weeks, but we'll probably get back into it. We're both free.
Yeah. Alright, well, peace, everybody. Thank you for listening.
See you guys.
This is the Cristian Podcast.
Peace.